What's going on, guys? James with YouTube Creative, and today we're talking about my personal setup on the Fuji X-T3. When I first got this camera, it's been about a month now, the dials, I thought they looked cool, but they were actually a little intimidating. I came over from the Canon T5i, so I ended up going with a more run and gun style. Unfortunately, I'm not using the pretty dials on top so much. I ultimately ended up going with the command dial on the front. I have it set up to adjust my ISO, and I use the aperture ring to control the aperture, and I use the back dial for shutter speed. I like to shoot through the viewfinder. It allows me to use my finger and thumb, so I have access to the joystick, the two command dials, and I can control the entire exposure triangle that way. As far as my custom button settings, I use this button here on the front for auto eye detect, my Bluetooth, set up to this top button here. I've switched between my auto focus lock and my auto exposure because I feel more comfortable with the focus lock over to the left. I found what I consider an okay way to switch between 24 frames and 120. Switch right over to movie mode. I have my screen set up to swipe. You can swipe to move over to 120. Alright guys, let's take you inside the camera and show you how I set it up. You want to go to menu, scroll over, go down to setup, which is a little wrench, go to user settings, scroll down. You're going to be scrolling for a minute past screen settings, keep on going. Right here is your button dial settings. Come down to the ISO dial setting. It's set to auto. Move that to command. That's going to allow you to use your custom dial setting. Let's get on out of the menu. Exit out of there by hitting the display back button. Now hold the display back button. That is going to bring up your custom functions button and how to set them up. As you can see here on the very first one, I've got Bluetooth. Use your keypad to change that. As you see, you can set that to anything you want. I have mine set up on Bluetooth. Function 2, I have set up again for my face and eye detection. Function 3 is my autofocus. Function 4 I have set up for my profiles. Profile is going to be very important. You're going to use them a lot, so you're going to want them somewhere that's comfortable. On function 5, I have my white balance. I keep my white balance set to auto, but you never know, so I have it there. Function 6, that's my boost mode. These things are a little bit clunky without it. I keep my boost mode on all the time, but if I'm in a situation where I need to save some battery, I can easily change it. These are my screen modes. I only use 2 of them. Again, like I was telling you earlier, this one here is set up for an electronic leveler. The second one I have set up for switching from my 24p video to my 120. That's just the quickest way to do it that I've found. On the other 2, I have them set to none. On these 2 here, you will see I've switched the auto exposure and the auto focus button. It's a little more comfortable for me that way. And on the last dial, it's the rear dial, I have it set to none. I use it for shutter speed. Alright guys, that's my X-T3 setup. If you liked the video, if you found it helpful, you guys know what to do. Leave us a like, all those things, and we'll see you soon.